out clip, but here's another one. And that actually activated the traction control. So a lot of power, guys. 457 foot-pounds of torque in a car that weighs just around 3,000 pounds is a lot of power. What's going on, everyone? My name is Adam and welcome back to Driven Nashville. Honored to have you here. Today we're talking about something incredibly cool, and that is the McLaren 600LT. Now, LT stands for long tail. This is essentially the track car. This started as a 570S, but they put about 30 more horsepower. It took off about 200 pounds of weight, and they restyled it. Guys, this is definitely a special 600LT too. It's not your standard one, and let me tell you why. First off, this has the very, very rare $30,000 custom carbon fiber roof scoop. Now, when I say custom, it is a stock MSO part from McLaren, but these are so rare. And to believe it or not, you can't even order a coupe anymore. All of the 2020s and newer ones are all spiders, right? And don't get me wrong, the spider's awesome because it's a hardtop, but if you really want the track-focused car, you are looking at the #1 track car, period, if you're looking at a 600LT. Because if you get the spider, it adds 90 more pounds of weight. Now, this also has the carbon fiber 1, 2, and 3 options, right? So this is carbon fiber here, carbon, 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 carbon. I mean, it's unreal. All I can say is you better hope this lacquer lasts, otherwise this whole car is just gonna degrade because the entire thing is carbon fiber. And believe it or not, this even has the true race-inspired Sienna seats. And in this review, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the pros and cons of this. This is still the introduction here. We're gonna take this on a POV Drive as well. And I'm also gonna bring Matt, the owner, on just for a few minutes to talk about his experience. This is actually his second 600LT. This car is in Lantana Purple. I think it's absolutely one of the best colors you could possibly spec a car in general, especially a track-focused car like this, because when you get a bright color and then you get the carbon, you get that nice color contrast, that nice offset pattern, and it just looks incredible. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. Now, the 600LT has roughly 592 horsepower and 457 foot-pounds of torque. It has a 7-speed transmission, rear-wheel drive only. So let's bring on Matt and let's find out a little bit about why he bought the car and what his... All right, guys, here's Matt Gas. This guy's such a petrol head. His last name is Gas. I love that. All right. So cool. Matt, you actually do track the car, right? In fact, I'll show a clip here for you guys. Me and Matt were actually, this is how we met. We were at NCM, what, 2 weeks ago? I was with the Miata Mazda Speed, as you guys know, and we were just having a blast. We went out on a whole session in this car. The car is incredible. When you nail it and you get the apexes right, it really is amazing. I just love the fact, frankly, that you use it as it's intended to be, because the 600LT is a track car, period. And the only way, and we were just talking about this at lunch, the only way you can exploit cars like this is on the track. You just can't even get into 80-90% of what this car is capable of on the street. And if you do, you're just breaking every law and you're just asking for trouble. You're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hurt somebody else, right? So I just really respect the hell out of you for bringing it to the track, thank you. You know, is there anything else on this car that you think maybe people should know? You know, if they're watching this video and they're thinking, hey, maybe I'm thinking about buying one of these because they're starting to get into a really good value range.
I mean, they're a piece of shit. Yeah, welcome to McLaren.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I wouldn't have anything else. So.
Say they're a piece of shit. Are you talking about the build quality?
Well, I mean, I mean, the electronics are just known for being crappy, but the way the car drives, the grip, the fit and finish it's okay. It's not like the best. I mean,
yeah, it's not an S class, right?
Right.
I mean, have you had any?
You got, you know, they don't line up. You got this going on. You know, you can kind of.
Oh yeah. Well,
okay, I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
But I love it. I love it.
I mean, it's part of the charm, right?
Right. The exhaust has, and my last one did too, but they got some type of exhaust rattle from the heat shield kind of thing, but that constantly has to be attended to.
If you guys didn't know, the exhaust on these does throw flames. So essentially on basically shifts, it puts a little extra fuel in, and then when you shift it, it actually blows it out and allows it to launch a nice little fire. It comes up to about here, I've seen in videos, and that is actually a factory exhaust, if you can believe that. So you can sit there and rev it at night and throw flames.
I mean, pretty much.
It's pretty cool.
If you like a very raw driving experience, you're going to love this car. If you like the rattles, the squeaks, the creaks, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
But it's not Escalade. And that's just what it is.
It's a supercar. You know, and you got Trofeo R's, which are going to pick up all these little rocks, guys. You can see here. You know, you really got to make sure you PPF the hell out of your car if you do take it on the track, or frankly even on the street. But man, I tell you, overall though, it looks so good, and I think that, you know, the fact of the matter is, you drive it on the track, you enjoy it for what it's meant to be, and this is pretty much the Apex Predator.
Last one, it didn't actually have the fender liner that's carbon, which I thought it was a very unique option on this car.
So this is an option right here? This isn't part of the carbon tub, huh?
Nope.
Interesting, I didn't know that. 3 carbon upgrades you can get, and I'll put the window sticker here so you guys can see the spec of this car. There's no carbon here, but there's carbon here, and there's carbon here on the whole underside, which I believe is an upgrade. So while you're sitting in the seats here, so these are the Sienna seats. They're similar to Porsche, right? These are one-piece fixed carbon bucket seats.
Yeah.
I think the word on the street is they're pretty atrocious to get in and out of. What are your thoughts on it now you've been in it for a bit?
Well, it does take some practice, but I mean, it's one of my most favorite things about this car is the seats, and then one of the most things that I hate are the seats.
It's a love-hate relationship.
So about after 45 minutes or so, you're going to hate them.
I will tell you guys, after being in the seats as a slightly larger guy, right, these are actually more comfortable than the Porsche bucket seats. Now, as far as getting in and out, I would say these are actually slightly more difficult though, because you have this to deal with and you have this to deal with. So it's actually 2 points of kind of pain in the ass.
It's a good conversation starter.
Also with these seats, this is where you could put your harnesses right here. So these seats are like literally ready to go on the racetrack. And then I don't even know if you notice this, there's a beautiful stitch here, purple stitch on these seats. I mean, you could literally have a full 6-point harness with these things. I mean, they are ready to rock, guys. And a little bit of padding here. Not too bad, actually. These are not the worst seats, like I said. And you can actually see here the carbon weave. Hopefully that picks up. The whole thing is just carbon fiber in here. So you're literally sitting in one piece of carbon fiber tub. And then, of course, this has the carpeting on top. And then this also has the track package, correct?
Yeah.
So if you can see, there is a camera right there, and this is also the air plenum that feeds into the engine here. That's the roof scoop, which if you got a non-roof scoop car, that is just one piece Alcantara, right? Correct. It's a really cool looking piece, and when we do the point of view drive here in just a little bit, you're actually going to see how that works. And then there's another camera in here too, right? It's at the front of the car, is that right?
Yeah, one at the front and the rear for the telemetry system.
You know, guys, this is the key if you're interested, and it is purple. Very cool. It's an upgrade. Carbon fiber here as well. Now, this is where if you hit your active buttons, you can change the modes from track, sport, and I guess normal. Is that what N is? Just normal. Then you've also have the ability here to adjust your dampener settings. You have launch with one button here. Your automatic engine start stop is there. The media is nothing special about it. It's definitely a letdown, I'd probably say, over any modern car. Even when this car came out, the media system, you know, all the reviewers talk about it. It's just, there's just really nothing special. It does have Bluetooth though, so it will connect to your phone. which is what most of y'all are gonna do anyways. And then this, unlike the 720S, is a fixed, it doesn't actually transform into track mode, but overall this is a really cool system. It still does have a track setting. When we do the POV drive, I'll show you that. And then I also just love, similar to Porsche and the GT line, they don't have any buttons on the steering wheel. It's just all driver focused. You do have these beautiful carbon fiber paddles as well. You do have the ability to lift the car right here. And then you have the ability to shift. You can go up and down with one paddle, which is a really, really cool feature of this car. That was the key that was falling through the seat. So make sure you don't have anything here, because it's gonna fall through the seat. Bowers and Wilkins sound system, it's a 12 speaker sound system, and it's a $4,400 upgrade. And I also will say, if you're curious what the pull is on these doors, these are very light, and I think anybody can easily open and close them. Once you just kind of get them started, you can see here, they'll hold themselves up, and then eventually they'll just go ahead and spring load open. They will open fairly wide though, so you really got to be careful who you park next to. If you're in a tight spot, you're not going to be able to get out without dinging the door. And here's that purple stitching again, guys. This is a $5,800 upgrade just for color contrast stitching. So, you know, they charge you for every little thing here. Okay guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you all. I always do. So I'm 6 feet tall. I'm about 200-pound guy, right? So getting out of these seats, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's tricky. You know, you've got a really low slung roof, you've got this here, and there's really nothing to grab onto. So the only way to do it, if you're trying to, you know, not kill the car, is to essentially grab here and kind of push, and then just sit on the sill, and then you can kind of get up. If you're going to a nightclub, and I've heard reviewers say this, and you're trying to look cool getting out of your 600LT, you better just be a small guy or a gymnastic person inclined, right? Because I don't know a graceful way to get out of that car. It's just, here's the trunk of the 600LT. You know what? It's got some practicality. Do they charge you $1,000 for this? They probably do. Yeah, you got some netting here. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's for after the track.
Yeah.
It's I've had a little bit too much fun. I need to relax. Got your helmet here, man. Very cool. Pretty usable spot though. You also have the ability to do a 12-volt charger here, which is really critical because these have lithium-ion batteries that do not last. If you didn't already notice, I mean, all of the front of this car, including the sides, is all nothing but radiators, guys. Hopefully that picks up. Look at that. So when you really appreciate these cars more in person because you can just see all the technology that cools it. You can also notice here all of this is open as well. So just a really, really cool aerodynamically advanced car. All right, guys, Matt's gonna fire her up. I'm gonna stand over here. This is gonna be a cold start. When's the last time this thing was on?
Since we came back from the track.
So good 2 weeks. Yeah. All right, let's hear it. Uh-oh. Sounds good. So what happened, Matt, when you tried to start it up?
I must have not pushed the brake.
You didn't do the exact perfect sequence,
yeah,
right?
You know, that has to talk to that. You know, it just has to, everything has to be just right.
These cars are finicky, guys. It's just the nature of the beast, right? When they work, they're amazing, but
to what I said earlier.
Yeah, they just require a little extra attention. But you got it started, you know. 2 weeks, hadn't been on a tender, not too bad, right?
See, it's got 21 days left of parking.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know it had a meter on it. So there you go, guys. It'll actually tell you how long you can keep it off a tender. That's pretty good. Better battery life than I thought. I heard that you go a week or two and they're dead.
Yeah, well, it might say 20 days and tomorrow it's dead. So.
Right. This one, though, that's been pretty much flawless.
Yeah, this one's no issues at all.
Isn't that funny? So it's hit or miss, guys. That's just the nature of the beast when you have a limited production car like this.
So if you spend $30,000 for the roof scoop, you won't have any issues.
Yeah, until the guy gets the $30,000 roof scoop and the car's just in the shop for 6 weeks. Yeah, so let's not again. And real quick, guys, if you were wondering about the power plant, it is a 3.8 liter twin turbo engine. Does have a little bit of a delay on the turbo like the 570 does, although it's not quite as bad as the 570 as you're going to see in the POV Drive. Unfortunately, you cannot remove the front, you cannot remove the engine cover, right? Not unless you are McLaren. I think they do now allow you to buy the tool for it, but essentially all of the engine and the exhaust is all underneath this carbon fiber. So you can't open it up and show your
All right, guys, we're in a 600LT. Let's go for a little drive. Sounds good. Feels very visceral in here. Very cool. To go into drive, pretty simple.
If you want to put it in manual mode, just hit this button.
Okay. Let's just start off in automatic mode real quick. Let's put the windows up though. Okay, I'm hearing a rattling. All right. You hear the rattling? So it's gonna come with the territory. All right, first impressions, guys. Feels like a supercar. Pretty easy actually on the gearing. What I mean by that is it's in automatic mode. I'm in 6th gear doing 35 miles an hour. So very much like the R8 and a lot of the other supercars I've reviewed. If you're not in manual mode, they will lug, they will baby. Give it the beans. It's still, I mean, you can hear the turbocharger. It sounds amazing, but I will tell you, in automatic mode, even in track mode, which we're at right now, I mean, it's still lugging pretty good. So first impressions of the car, you know, very, very tight, very easy to drive. So if I paddle shift it, it's gonna go into manual, right?
You have to click this to go into full manual mode.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit on the highway here and just to give it a little run out in manual mode. So we're in track mode now, and you can see that this is also shifted, guys. So I'm just gonna see if we can get a little bit of space here. I'm gonna start it off with a 3rd gear pull. All right, let's see what she does. Just like that, you're doing 100 miles an hour. So again, like I was saying earlier, if you really want to exploit this car, the only way to do it is going to be on the track. There's just no way to really do it on the street. It's just too much power. Having said that, it's still a whole lot of fun, and it sounds unbelievable with that air intake. I mean, you hear all of it. I mean, just I'm going to shut up, just listen to it. You hear the blow off? That's pretty cool, I gotta be honest. Track mode, when you do shift, it's a little jerky. You definitely know it. Similar to the Lamborghini that I reviewed, you know, the Aventador, it definitely pushes you pretty hard when you shift. If you're not in track mode, it's not that visceral. God, it sounds amazing. 3rd gear pull. And you only got 3rd and a little bit of 4th. So an amazing amount of power. The car is fun. I mean, it's tight. It feels like a supercar. The sounds are exotic. It's an incredible visceral experience. But just note, it's got FU power. I mean, it's just unreal how much power this thing has. There is definitely a turbo lag, right? The power does take about a good half a second to kick in. Once those turbos are spooled up though, it's go mode. All right guys, this little back row we'll have a little bit of fun on. got great sound effects. Prodigious amounts of power, unreal. I mean, once those turbos spool up, it just pulls. A lot of horsepower. Very, very fun car, I do have to say. Definitely has a weird harmonic though in the car where something's going on in that engine bay that rattles. And spending this kind of money, you know, you just have to wonder, you know, how they missed it. But I've driven a lot of nice cars, and very, very few of them, especially in this category of car, you know, don't have, like, the build quality is questionable. The only manufacturer that just seems to nail it is friggin' Porsche, and I don't know how they do it. Because you drive a 2RS and there is no rattling in that car. Matt's driving the car right now, and it's his car, so he can decide to push it. He also knows these roads a lot better. So maybe we'll get a couple of good shots here. The sounds this car makes, it is borderline orgasmic if you're a petrol head. Like, I cannot imagine, I mean, I just cannot imagine anybody not liking that if you're an engine fan. The turbo and the exhaust note, I mean, it's loud, but it's just so cool. Like this right here, guys, you literally feel and hear the air. There's just very few cars I've ever been in where you're more aware that not only is it turbocharged, but it's special. You know, driving around here, everybody looks at this car. You know, Matt was just saying the human eye can perceive beauty and engineering, and it's true. Even if you're not a car person in any way, you know when you see this car driving on the street that it's something different, and it's something exotic, and it's something very special, especially in Lantana Purple. With all the carbon this car has. I mean, it is laughable. You can look at every single eyeball as we drive by, and they're looking at this car thinking, what is that? I haven't seen that before. And it's pretty cool. Well, we just saw somebody we know. Tahoe's pulling away on you. Watching, guys. If you made it this far into the video, we really appreciate it. Hope you learned something about the McLaren 600LT. I think this is one of the greatest McLarens. It's going to go down in history as a great car. I think these are also really good investments. If you can pick one up a good 100K below MSRP, that's a lot of car for the money. I think that you're probably entering in the absolute best time to pick up a McLaren 600LT as well. We're heading into a recession. The Fed keeps raising rates. And there are 64 of these on the market currently for sale. A lot of them have been sitting. So if you've been on the sidelines to buy one of these, I think that you really are gonna be able to get a good deal on one. And frankly, if you can get one of these in the low to mid 200s, that's a lot of exotic car, a lot of supercar for not a lot of money. And let's be honest, if you actually know how to drive, this thing could decimate most everything on the track. So overall, hope you enjoyed watching. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Automotive Touch-Up Direct. This is one of the very few companies that can actually do an OEM paint grade match for your car. When you order from automotivetouchup.com, they will make it to order if you could actually get Lantana Purple from them. And I'm telling you, it is non-water based, it is quality stuff, guys. You have my full endorsement to check them out. If you have any questions or any thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the POV Drive, and we will catch you on the next one. That's it for me, guys. Talk to you later.